Hello and welcome to Sunday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic. And today's puzzle, has a very unusual fact about it that I want to share with you. This is the first puzzle on the channel that's actually been recommended to us by the great Phistomefel. Now, if you're a follower of the channel, you'll know exactly of whom I speak. He's one of the world's very finest constructors, and he dropped me an email the other day to say that we really should look at this this Sudoku on the screen, which is it's a Sudoku variant based on the Aquarium puzzle, which we've done, I think, once before in a video. It was a long time ago, and it's by Sam Knott. And Phistomefel says this has some absolutely beautiful logic in it. So I'm really looking forward to trying it. Now, Phistomefel also told me something very cool about a recent puzzle we did of his, which is this one. So if you watched, I can't remember what I called it. I might have called it the New Year Miracle or something like that, or the New Miracle Sudoku, I think was the title of the video. I'll try and put a card on the screen. But it basically involved us being able to fill this grid using only the fact that there is a diagonal constraint, so you've got to put the numbers 1 to 9 on the diagonal. And also, is a so-called dotless crop key, which means no consecutive cells can contain consecutive, or no two adjacent cells like this in a domino can contain consecutive digits or digits in a 1 to 2 ratio. Now, Phistomefel tells me that this puzzle still works and is still humanly solvable by, without resorting to computer techniques, if we just shift the givens up or down 3 cells. So if we shift all the givens up to here, 1, 2, 3, to here and to here, this puzzle apparently is solvable. And if we do it the other way around, 1, 2, so 1, 4, 2, this puzzle is also apparently a real Sudoku that is humanly solvable. Now that is completely crazy. But if you want to have a go at these variations, and yeah, Phistomefel says, I haven't tried them, so I don't know, but I believe him. If you want to have a go at these 2 variations, I will try to remember to put links in our software to those 2 variants under this video. So there should be 3 videos for the price of 1 today. Anyway, let's get back to Sam's puzzle. Here it is. But before we do, a couple of things to mention. Obviously, check out our new Killer Sudoku app. We keep talking about it because we're so proud of it. It really is. It's full of some great puzzles. And also, we've got lots of new content over on Patreon at the moment. So we've got the video of how to solve Tracking the Cryptid, which was last month's Sudoku puzzle hunt. It's a 3-hour, 20-minute video, so there is an awful lot of information there about Sudoku solving. We go through every single puzzle of the hunt and explain how to extract the final solution. So that's definitely worth having a look at. And then also we've got our monthly bonus for January, which has also been getting some great reviews. Mark read out a few names last night for people who solved it correctly. I hope he's going to do the same today. I don't know. I do know the subject of tonight's video by Mark, actually. Very interesting indeed. One of my favourite subjects. Anyway, let's get back to this one. What are the rules? So we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. Now, obviously, this is an irregular Sudoku in the sense that we haven't got 3x3 regions. We've got weird regions, like a sort of a 9 that's been put in a mirror. So we have to make sure these cells here contain the digits 1 through 9. This contains the digits 1 through 9. Not a great revelation. It's a whole column of the Sudoku. These cells would have to contain the digits 1 to 9, etc. Now, here's where it gets interesting, though. Each region must be split into air, brackets green, and water, brackets blue cells. So we've got to split the grid into blue and green cells. A region can be entirely one type. All water cells must be below all air cells, and cells in the same row and region must be coloured the same. Additionally, in each region, the digits in water cells must all be larger than those in air cells. Each region has a different number of water cells, and all regions have at least 1 water cell. Along thermometers, digits must increase from the bulb end. Well, you can see that these are measly thermometers here, each of length 2. So basically, these are almost like inequality signs between the cells. We're just being told here that this cell is greater than this cell, etc. And then we've got this aquarium condition. So if I understand this correctly, you have to sort of imagine that water is being poured into a region. And then wherever the water goes, it must, if we decide the water reaches this level in this region, it must occupy all of those squares because the water will fall to the bottom of the region. Let's look at another one. So if in this region, if we worked out that we thought, I don't know, the water came to here, it would go like that, and then all of this would be air. But if we worked out the water went one higher, it couldn't just occupy that square. It would have to occupy the whole of its level because the water would sort of spread over the level of the Sudoku, and that would leave just those two as air. Wow, okay. So I've certainly never done a Sudoku, I don't think, based on these rules before. It sounds fascinating and extraordinary. And just let's go through one other aspect of the rules. The digits in the water cells must be larger than those in the air cells. So there is a weird sort of thermometer property going on. It's very strange. I have no clue how to do it. We shall see. Do have a go yourselves. The way to play, as always, is to click the link under the video. And with that, let's get cracking. Now, I say let's get cracking. I haven't really got a Scooby-Doo. No, hang on. All regions have at least one water cell. Okay, well that is a clue as to how to start, presumably, because we can blue in the entirety of the bottom row of the grid. Because if every region has at least one water cell and we know water spreads out when it's over a level, we know, for example, we can't just have one water cell here and make this cell air because water must fill the entirety of the level it's at. So the whole of the bottom row must be blue. And now this region, we know it's got at least one water cell in it, so those two are blue. This one's blue for the same reason. Have we got any? Yes, there's another one there. That's blue. Oh, no, we've got more. These regions, that's a region. This is a region. All of those are blue as well. So we're off and running with some bluing of the grid. Now, what does this tell us? I haven't got a clue. Not actually sure how to think about this. Presumably we've got to think about high and low numbers though, because we know that the water cells are higher than the air cells. So Okay, I've had a thought. So presumably we have to think about where 1 can go in row 9 and where 9 can go in row 1. Because 1, we know that wherever the 1 goes in row 9, it's the highest digit. Well, we know that the water is always higher than the air. So wherever the 1 goes in this row of the grid, the entirety of that region must be filled in blue. So there is a 9-cell blue region that is emanating from the bottom of the grid, because we must put a 1 in the bottom of the grid. Now, okay, I had a thought. Now that means that the regions that are at the top of the grid and are not impacted by these regions. So which regions am I talking about? These regions that all touch the bottom of the grid. One of those regions has to be all blue. That means every other region must have some air in it, because all of the regions have a different amount of water cells. So that means all of the regions now that are unhighlighted, i.e. not in yellow, have air in them. So we can put air in their top rows, which means I think it's all of those cells have to be green and these two have to be green. Now, what does that mean? Now I'm going to try and think about where 9 goes in this region, because Oh, this is... Okay, right. Okay. So where does 9 now go in row 1 of the grid? Well, you can never put 9 in green because you can never put 10 in blue. That's the easiest way of thinking about it. So where does 9 go? It must be here, and that's a 9. And that tells us that this region is entirely blue, and therefore it tells us where the 1 goes. This is gorgeous, isn't it? It's so clever. I mean, imagine coming up with an idea of creating this. Now, but what does this mean? So I feel like what we've got to do is we've got to continue. Well, no, the first thing we've got to do is to realise that there is only one region in the grid that contains all blue cells, and we found that region. So every other region contains some green cells. So there must be green cells in this one, in this one, in this one. Okay, so we get some more greens off the back of that. Now what? What I want to do is to focus on the awkward digits. So again, coming down to row 9, I want to focus on the 2. Yes, I do want to focus on the 2. Because where does the 2 go in row 9? I don't know exactly where it goes, but I think I do know which region it's in. Because whichever region the 2 is in, the 2 must be higher than every digit we put in green in that region. So if we put a 2 here, we can make one of these squares lower than 2, but we can't make both of them lower than 2. Similarly here, if I put the 2 in here, I can't make both of those, or all 3 of those, lower than 2. So actually we should look at 3 as well, probably. So the 2 is in one of these squares, which means that the green must be 1. And, oh, this is so clever. I'm being slow about this, but it is so clever. Now, because we know that blue is 2 in this region here, we know there can be only one cell that is green. So the rest of this all turns blue. Now, I'm just going to check 3 because I noticed that no, 3 has just become beautiful. Well, beautiful is overstated. I don't think it's as good as what we've just done, but it's still interesting. I noticed 3 couldn't go in here, because if 3 is in here, I've now got to fill these 3 green cells with the digits 1, 2, and another digit that isn't available. So it's impossible, because there are not 3 digits lower than 3 that we can put into a Sudoku. Now, on this side of the grid now, can we put 3 in either of these squares? Well, we could have done before, because we could have had a 1-2 pair here. But now this is a 1, we can't. So the 3 does not go in this region. The 3 goes in this region. But I don't think we actually get more. I don't think we actually learn very much more from that, actually. So let's flip this round and start looking at the top and where we put 8. Right, okay. Well, it's a similar, it's sort of, we have to turn up the logic round. Gosh, it's like my neurons are trying to rearrange themselves such that I can deal with this puzzle's logic. And they are not hurrying. They are dawdling. Look, if we put 8 in a 2 in this green here, it means that we have to be able to put 2 digits, these 2 digits, because there are 2 blues, higher than 8 in the region. Well, that's impossible. We can put 9 in one of them, but the other one would be 10, and that doesn't work. And it's the same over here. If we put 8 here, we need 3 digits that are higher than 8, which are not available in the Sudoku. So 8 must be in one of these squares. And that, it's the same. It's like upside down logic. So now, if we know that green is 8 in this region, there is only one cell. There can only be one cell in this region that is higher than 8. And it is this cell precisely. So this square is 9 and the rest of this turns green. Oh my goodness me. And and it is almost symmetrical, because now we can do the same trick with 7s. Where does 7 go? Because 7, if it's green here, this would have to be an 8-9 pair, which it can no longer be. If 7 is in this green, these squares all have to be higher than 7. Well, 8, 9, 10 is not possible. So 7 is also in one of those squares, a bit like 3 was in one of these squares. So you can almost feel how this puzzle has been put together. Right, so we have found... Oh, so here's a little idea. In this region, the sort of symmetrical 9-shaped region, we need to put a 9 in the blue. Well, because we can't put a 9 in those two squares, we know that this at least must be blue. The blue might go higher, but this must be blue to allow there to be any possibility of putting a blue 9 in this region. Can we do the same with the 1 here? Of course we can, can't we? We can do exactly the same with the 1. 1s are always green, unless they're in this region here. So in order to allow there to be space to have a green 1, we have to put it there. In fact, this is better. This is better than that, because this can't be a green 1, because it's at the end of a thermometer. So if we make this a 1, that's got to be a 0, which is not possible. So this is not the 1 in this region, so we can extend the green again. This is absolutely brilliant. Now, what do we do next? We have got... What do we do next? I have not got a clue. There's a little piece of logic I've just seen in row 2 of the grid, which I will mention in case it's important. I need to put a 9 in row 2. Where am I going to put it? And the answer is, I haven't got a Scooby-Doo, except it's got to be either in this region or this region. Now, whichever of these regions takes the 9, we'll have to fill up that region with blue squares, because the 9 obviously... If the 9 is at this level, it must be blue, so the whole thing would turn blue. Now, actually, I've just noticed something else. Whichever one of these is therefore blue is the 7-cell blue region, because this would have 7 cells that were blue, and this would have 7 cells that were blue. So, does that allow us to do anything? I don't know whether it does or not, to be honest. I really don't. Does that allow us to do anything? Can we conclude something from the fact that we know one of the squares is... This one's suddenly catching my eye now. Yeah, here's a bit of logic. This can't be blue, because if this is all blue... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is an 8-cell blue region. I think we've already found the 8-cell blue region. It's here. So this is all green, which is a very minor point, but it's still, I think with this puzzle, it's probably worth picking off minor points, isn't it? Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This region as well. I think that's the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's impossible. This can't be blue. That's green. And we can go further with this one, because we know the 7-cell blue region is one of those two. So this square also can't be blue, otherwise we will create a second 7-cell blue region. And now... So now it feels like this region, this row has become, well, it's almost full of colour. There's something nagging me about this top part of the grid, but I don't know what it is. So nagging, unfortunately, is not something I can express to you on Cracking the Cryptic as logic. Let's look somewhere else. Where shall we look now? So it feels like the 1s and the 9s are absolutely critical. And maybe it's almost like we can... I'm wondering if there's some just absolutely bizarre triple going on here. What I mean by that is that we found the 9-cell blue region. We found the 8-cell blue region. We know one of these is the 7-cell blue region. So we still need a 6, 5, 4, 3 and 2-cell blue region. We found the 1-cell blue region, didn't we? I think we did. It's there, yeah. So we need 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now, this region here is either 2 or it's 4. This is either 2, 3 or 6. Oh, no, this isn't going to work. Because the problem is these two central regions have too many options. It's much nicer with regions like this where there's suddenly a big jump. As you move up the levels, you don't increase in units of 1, you increase in units of 3 in this case. Okay, so what does that mean? Right, okay, well how about we ask where 1 can go then? We asked where 9 can go in row 2. Let's ask where 1 can go in row 8. Now 1 cannot go in the blue anymore because that will force a 9-cell blue region, and we've already found that. So, 1 can't go at the end of the thermometer. So there's actually only 2 places 1 can go in row 8. Now, whichever one of these is true will be green. So either this is a 2-cell. So one of so one of these is the 2-cell blue region, which okay, so let's look at this region then. This cannot be a 1-cell blue region. We've already found that. That's there. So this must have more blues in it. Now, once we get to this square, we can go one further now, because I know one of these is a 2-cell blue region, because one of these has to take the 1. So this can't be a 2-cell blue region. So this is blue. 3. I don't know. What I do know is that this puzzle is sensational. I shouldn't have expected any less. Phistomefel recommendations. I mean, that is the pinnacle of puzzle creation, if Phistomefel recommends your puzzles. So I've looked at where 9 goes in this row. Oh, no, hang on a moment. I have a good idea. Yes, I have a very good idea. Now, let us ask a very simple question. How many 9s are there in these 3 rows of the puzzle? Well, there's 1 in each row, so there are 3 9s. Where can we put the 9s in terms of the shapes that are available to us? Remember, I'm just looking at these 3 rows. Well, I can't put 9 in this shape. It's already got a 9 in it. I could absolutely put 9 in one of those squares. That would be fine. But I can't put 9 in green. I can't put 9 in these greens. I could put a 9 here, and I could put a 9 in this region here. So there are exactly 3 regions, and because we can't repeat 9 in a region, each of those 3 possible regions must contain a 9. So this is a 9, which means it's blue, which means it's a 5-cell region. which means, well, it means a lot, actually. It does mean a lot, because it now means that the 9s in this region and this region are in some subset of these squares and some subset of these squares, which is important because it means that we can't, because we know the 9 is at least at this level, all of those squares turn blue. And this is gorgeous. This is absolutely gorgeous, because now this region here is a 5-cell blue region. So this is not a 5-cell blue region, so it needs more blue. So that finishes this. This was the 7, which means this one cannot take any blues up here, which not only means these are green, but it means this is 9. 9s are not here anymore. 9 can't go in the bulb of a thermometer. This is 9. And oh, I've nearly made really good progress, haven't I? So now let me recount. What have I got? I've got a 4-cell region. I've got a 4-cell region. So this can't all be blue. This must be green, which means this is going to be the 1. Which means this is not 1, otherwise it's also a 2-cell region, so this must grow. So I've got, what have I got? I've got a 1-cell region, a 2-cell region. Oh, okay, so one of these has to be the 3-cell blue region. I've got a 4-cell region. I've got a 5-cell region. I've not got a 6-cell region. So the 6... Oh, I see. So one of these... Right, okay, so this is like a 3-6 pair on blue cells. This is either 3 cells of blue or 6 cells of blue. This is either 3 cells of blue or 6 cells of blue. And I don't know if we can work that out yet. We may be able to, but I don't immediately see how to do it. I've got to put a 9 in the blues in here, but you can see that the 9s can go in any of those 3 squares, I think. Oh no, they can't. Oh no, they can't, because these 2 squares must be the highest in their region. So this is an 8-9 pair, so this is not 9. Oh, this is going to get really peculiar. I'm just realising that, yeah, so because all of these regions they're all bottom heavy, this is a 1-2 pair. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadruple. This might be more interesting. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quintuple. But we have a 1-2 pair there. We have a 1 here. We have a 1 here. So the 1 is placed, which means we can't put 2 on this thermometer, because if we do, this will become a 1. And it will clash with this one. So this is not 2, which means because we know there's a 2 up here, this is 2 in the region. And we get a 3, 4, 5 triple. This can't be 1 or 2, so this can't be 3. Okay, good. What now? These squares have got to have... okay, let's carry on with Sudoku. Where does 1 go in this region? It's got to be here. There's definitely a 2 in one of those squares. So 1s and 2s are now... Yes, yes, yes! Where do 1s and 2s go in this region? They can't go here because of Sudoku. They can't go here, whoops, because of this 1-2 pair. They can't go here. There's a 1-2 pair or 1-2 virtual pair here. So they must be in these 2 squares. And look at the little thermometer helping us to know the order. We can do that. That one fixes the 1 and the 2. Now, can we do something? I'm wondering whether these 1s or these 2s somehow limit this box in terms of... They do. No. Yes, they do. No, they don't. They nearly do. They do tell us where the 1 is, I think, don't they? Because we know the 1 in this region, this sort of comma region, is green. Well, it can't be in those squares because of Sudoku, and it can't be at the top end of a thermometer. So this square must be the 1. Ah, that's it. That is it. It's not this region that matters, it's this region, the reverse L-shaped region. Because now I've got to put a 1 in this region. Where? It can't go here. These are blue. It can't go here by Sudoku. Here, 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 here. Can't go in any of those squares, so it has to go there. We know the 1 is green. Those have to be green. Therefore, this must be a blue 6. And I have coloured the grid. And that is... I am really proud of that. That's, I think, a decent bit of solving for once, I think. Well, not for once, but you know what I mean. I didn't feel I was too slow today getting that. Now I'll probably grind to a halt. Don't grind to a halt. Oh, I tell you what I can do. These 3 squares are the lowest squares in the comma shape, so they are 1, 2, and 3. There's a 2 there. Oh, whoopsie. So that's a 2, that's a 3. I think this is what I'm going to have to be more careful with, yeah, because there's all, depending on which colour I'm focusing on, there are all sorts of triples. So if I switch to thinking about blue, these 3 squares have got to be the highest digits in the cage. So they, well, in the blue, which is in the region, sorry, that's 7, 8, 9. That actually means that's not 9, this is 9 now. I probably need to think about the 9s in the grid. Let's just have a quick look. I've got to put a 9 in... Yeah, okay, I've got to put a 9 in row 6. Where's it going? It can't go here, it can't go here, there's already a 9 in its region. It can't go here, and it can't go here. So it's in one of those 2 cells. I'm not sure if we can see which one is the correct one. Now also, I've got to put a 9... Oh no, we've got 9s here. Oh, in fact, this 9, I didn't see this 8, 9 thing at the bottom. 9, 8. That fixes the 9 here. So we may now, have we done all the 9s? 3, 4, 5, 6... Yes, we have, because we can figure out that it's that one in the other triple. So 9s have been solved. Let's just double click 1s. We've got 1, 2, 3. We've got all 9 1s already. Okay, let's double click 2s. 2s are not done. Can we see our way to how to solve some? This is not 2. Ah, these squares, look, are all in the same column of the Sudoku, and we know what they are. They are 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which means this is 7 or 8, this is 7 or 8, and it can't be 8. This is 7, this is 8. Let's get rid of some pencil marks. This can't be 2 because there's a 2 in its row. This can't be 2, this can't be 2. This can't be 2, so in fact that is a 2. That is strange, but it's... Oops, that's strange but true. 5, 6. Right, okay. Now, have we got any more of these useful... Yeah, this... What about those? They're a triple. They're going along with the 9. These are 6, 7, and 8. So that's not 6. That's not 8. Oh, that's bizarrely unhelpful. So in this row, we still need 3, 4, and 5 into these squares, I think. We definitely know there's a 3 at the top there because of the 4, 5 here. That means that 3 in this region has got to be in one of those two squares, which means it's not here. Now that seems to be saying to me that this is a 2-3 pair, which I shall certainly believe, trusting my pencil marks. Which means those 3 squares there are 4, 5 and 6. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm getting to grips with the irregular part of this very well. 8s maybe. Maybe I should look. I've hardly done any 8s. That's quite surprising. Oh, hang on, look. We've got a similar thing now. Oh no, we haven't. I was misreading the regions. Yeah, but we have, because this region, we know what these 4 squares are. These have got to be 5, 6, 7 and 8. Which means that one at the top is not 7. Which means this one here is 2, 3 or 4. Because we've got 1, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 approximately placed. So this is 2, 3 or 4. We know it's not 3 because the 3 is in one of those squares. Now let's have a look here then, because we've got a thermometer. We've got a 7, 8 pair there, so that's got to be 5 or 6. We know this can't be 8 because that would require a 9 to go here. Oh, 8 here. Oh, in fact, this region, the comma region, is the key. There's a 7, 8 pair in row 9 and a 7, 8 pair in row 8. So I have to put 7, 8 on the thermometer. Well, that's a very kind thermometer from Sam. Thank you, Sam. That gives us those. That means this square is a 4, 5 or a 6. Still not quite cracking, but we've now got a 5, 6 pair here, which means we can get rid of those. This is a 7, 8 pair. This has to be... Oh, that's interesting. This square has to be higher than 5, but it can't be 7, 8 or 9. That's got to be 6. And that means we get a bit more progress, look. There's got to be a 6 in one of those, so this is not 6. This is... the 7, 8 gets resolved. Oh, in fact, I bet that's why that thermometer's there, look. That thermometer, I think, is in the puzzle to disambiguate the ordering of this 7, 8, which would otherwise be could just be reversed. That's quite cool. This 7 is ruling out a 7 from the top of the grid, which places the 7 here. So this isn't 7 anymore. This isn't 6 either. That's got to be 8. Two, 3, 4, 5 into this square. But we know that it's not 2 or 3 because there's already a 2, 3 there. That gives us a 4, 5 pair in this column. It's nearly enough, but not quite. In this row, look, we need 2, 3 and 4. Let's see if that tells us anything. We can get rid of the 2 from this square. We can't get rid of anything else. I must be able to resolve this 7, 8 pair as well. I'm sorry about this. No, oh, the 2 here, of course, that's fixing that one, look. That's a 4, that's a 3, which fixes a 2 down here, a 3 here. That fixes a 2 there. That's a little flurry of activity. Unfortunately, this 3 doesn't seem to be doing enough work on the 4 or the 5, but it does give us this square as a 3 using our pencil marks. Now, these 2 squares are 5 and 6. Hang on. Yeah, well, this 4 is useful. We can see this has to be the 6 in row 1 because there's a 3, 5 pair here. That fixes that this is a 4. So this is no longer 3 or 4. This square's got to be 5, which fixes that this is 6. This can't be 3. I think we might be getting there. This square's a 4. This square's a 5. These two squares are 7 and 8. Oh, there's probably a way of resolving that. I can't. Oh yeah, there is. This is the thermometer's very useful. We can't put 8 on it because that's going to require a 9 there. So 7 and 8 go in. This must be 8 now. Let's double click 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we haven't. Well, oh no, they're quite hard to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think. There's this one. There's one in one of these two. There should be another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm struggling to see which box it's not in. Hang on, this is going. I think I'm just miscounting them. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. No, there is still only 7. Where is the other? Where does the other 8 go then? I need another region that can take an 8. And I'm not seeing which one it is. I don't think I've put an 8 into one of the regions. Because I can see that... Oh, this is a disaster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, is it this one? Yes, sorry, look, it's this square here. Oh, that's a relief, actually. I just couldn't see it. So that gets me the 8s and the 7s done. Oh, thank goodness for that. Oh, that was horrible. 4 goes here, 3 goes here. 5, 6 into these squares. Can you imagine if I messed this up? It would just be an absolute travesty. I tell you what I would do. I would insist Mark tried the puzzle. Because this puzzle needs to be seen. 6, 7 like that. These are 3, 4 and 5. Oopsie. 3, 4 and 5. You can see the 3 can't go there, so the 3 must be in this position. I reckon we could fix the 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, they still look like... Well, we can't put... Yeah, where does the 2 go in this... Yeah, in this region? It can't go here because we'd need a 1 on the end. So this becomes the 2, and that's going to fix the 2 over in the column 1 region, which I think has to go there. The 4, 5 here means this should be a 3. Therefore, that's a 4. The 3 fixes the 3 and the 5. This looks like it needs... I keep miscounting these regions. 1, 2, 3. This is really peculiar. These are 5, 6 and 7. And you can see that we can never put 7 here because it's the bulb of the thermometer. So that's going to have to be 5 in order to get... Oops. 5, 6, 7, 7, 6. That fixes the 4, fixes the 5, fixes the 4, fixes the 3. That should be a 6. This is a 5. This region's a 4 and a 5 and a 4. Let's do this slowly. 5. This looks like it's 6. That looks like it's 5. I think I've filled in all the squares. Yes, I think that's it. I think that's how to solve the puzzle. It is a brilliant, brilliant puzzle. I was a bit slower on the second half with the irregular bit, and for that you'll have to forgive me. But I felt the logic for the aquarium part was really, really... Well, it was reasonably solved at least. Let me know in the comments what you thought of that. I hope that you found it just even a fraction as brilliant as I did. Thank you so much to Sam for setting it. Thank you so much to Phistomefel for recommending it. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.